Hey, what is up, guys? It's Brendan here, and today we're going to be taking a look at 7 of the best budgeting apps. And we're going to be breaking down both free apps as well as paid apps and which might be the best for you in your financial journey and in your financial situation, depending on maybe what app is the best for you to use. Again, because each of them sort of cater to different types of people. We're also going to be breaking down not only the budgeting features of many of these apps, but also a lot of them do also offer net worth tracking and a variety of other different types of personal finance tracking features within a lot of these different apps. Now, before we dive into things, of course, I do want to mention if you want to check out any of the companies and apps mentioned here in today's video, there will be links linked down below in the video description, again, some of which are affiliate links, which is a great way to help out and support the channel. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into things. So taking a look at the number one spot, we have Quicken Simplifi. Now, hands down, this is one of the cheaper paid apps when it comes to different budgeting apps. And one of the nice things about Quicken Simplifi that a lot of people do like, and people that I've spoken to as well, is just the fact that it does have a lot of automation in terms of building out your personal finance sort of portfolio, so to speak, within your different accounts. So you can track your net worth as well. You can see your spending, upcoming bills and things like that. And again, it is just one of the most affordable, most cost-effective paid apps. We'll be breaking down the difference between some of the free apps and paid apps as well, because again, nothing is truly free. There is a cost to pretty much everything when it comes to these different apps. Again, so that is something else worth considering as well. When you're looking at a paid app versus a free app, because there's a lot of different options when it comes to budgeting tools, net worth tracking, things like that. Realistically, a lot of the paid tools, you can at least bet that you're not going to be getting hit with a bunch of advertisements, which can be nice on the paid tools. And this is, again, one of the cheapest paid tools that you can get. Again, it is Quicken Simplifi. Again, if you are interested in any of the companies mentioned here in today's video, there are links linked down below in the video description if you do want to check any of them out or follow along or get started with them. Now, some of them do have either free trial periods and things like that. Quicken, again, is right now they're offering like a discount. Again, pricing is always subject to change depending on when you're watching this video. Pricing may be different. Just have to say that disclaimer there as well. Now, in terms of Quicken Simplifi, and one of the nice things about it as well is because of the way that, the way the financial industry is today, if you have multiple bank accounts, if you have multiple credit cards, you're trying to maximize your spending, it can be a little challenging to keep track of everything in all these separate dashboards. Again, maybe if you're using multiple different banks, that's why these budgeting apps and apps that actually link all your accounts in there as well can also be useful beyond just tracking your actual spending. Now, in terms of the tools that Quicken has to offer, again, you can see your overall savings goals. So you can set things like a summer vacation that you may want to save money for. You can set things up like a car purchase or an emergency fund or retirement as well. So you can go through and customize those features as well. You can also see your top spending categories that are in there as well. Now, some of those categories, it may be labeled as eating out or groceries, utility, fitness, things like that. But overall, it does give you a combined financial picture of all of your different banking accounts, no matter what different place that those are located at. So maybe you have a Chase account, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, or even some other savings accounts. You can see your overall financial picture within one app. Again, that is one of the main benefits to Quicken, and again, it is also one of the cheaper options out there as well. Now, it is a little bit more limited in terms of all of the customization that you can do. You pretty much have just like your spending, your income, and you can see the different categories automatically, but it really is built more for like, automatic importing, in terms of the different types of categories that you get to see, as well as the types of insights. So as you can see here, you can also track net worth and tracking like specific portfolios. So, such as your Roth IRA or a personal portfolio, you do also have the ability there. See your overall investment balances. You also have the different alerts here too. So a lot of different finance apps do give you alerts for maybe certain subscriptions that you may have, and Quicken Simplifi also does give you that as well. You can customize the transactions in terms of flagging them and setting that up so that when you do go to your top spending, you can actually see like where the different categories go. So yeah, it's a pretty ultimately, it's a pretty good option when it comes to budgeting apps. This is why I included them first in this list, just because they are, again, one of the most cost-effective options. Moving in at number 2, we have Monarch Money. Now, this is actually the budgeting app that I personally use for myself and managing my own personal finances. I am a huge proponent and fan of Monarch Money. In my opinion, their net worth tracking and the way that they flag things under transactions, cash flow, how much you can break things down really is second to none compared to all the other different budgeting apps that I personally tested or used. They are a little bit more expensive than Quicken Simplifi. However, it's not that much more. And when you consider all of the improvements that they've made to this over time as well, and in terms of the similarity it has to Mint. So maybe if you're a long-time budget user, maybe you're coming from Mint in the past. Mint is, again, no longer active. So if you are going to be importing data from a previous financial app, or maybe from spreadsheets as well, Monarch does have a very good way for you to actually import past data and transactions, whether it's from Mint or even if it is just from your own personal spreadsheet and you're looking to sort of build in some more automation so you're not having to do so much manually. Monarch does have a really good way of importing your prior financial data. That's what I did going from Mint to Monarch. I actually have a full tutorial, which I will link here in the cards or down below. It should pop up somewhere, where you can check out that video as well if you do want to learn how to import data into Monarch. And second to none, like, that process is very easy to do. And it's definitely like a really nice benefit to Monarch if you're coming from a place of maybe already having some of that information stored and tracked somewhere. Now, in terms of the actual budgeting, the nice thing I do like about them is the ability to utilize the cash flow and tracking, again, all of your different accounts in terms of the flexible budgeting. So that's the thing that I do like about them, is when it comes to specifically just a budgeting app, that they do have those features in there, is that you can set up custom categories and you can do rollovers, as well as just tracking your money as a monthly cash flow statement. That's personally what I like to do, sort of just to see like rough percentages, because I don't set like a super hard and fast budget. Like, it has to be exactly $200. I'm okay with it being $150, maybe $250, like a sort of a range, like a percentage, right? And I know based on my spending, it'll be within a certain range. Now, some months may be higher, lower. That is where you can utilize the rollover feature that they do have in terms of maybe if you didn't use all of that money that month, if you do want to sort of do more almost like a zero-based budgeting where you're utilizing all your money, you do have those options there where you can zero out different categories based on planned and actual expenses. Same with income. You can also track the different budgeting based on, like, budgeting your income. That might be helpful as well, depending on how your income sources break down. But you can also do that obviously with expenses, as you can see here, and you can roll some of that money over to next month. So that might be a good situation. Say, for example, if you're typically budgeting for maybe trash or something like that, and you're only getting billed quarterly, but you might want to budget like $25 a month, just so that you make sure you have like that money set aside already just for when that other quarterly bill hits, just as an example. Or you can use it to roll over and just keep it within that category, so that when you have maybe a higher spend month, then it sort of makes up for itself. If you like to do percentage-based budgeting in cash flow, you can also do that in here as well. That's personally what I like to do. And you can really see all of your different spending patterns at an easy way. And they also have nice little emojis on the categories. And you can set up all of your own custom ones as well within Monarch if you want to do that, to set up things beyond just the basic categories that they have set up for you. In addition to that, they do also have collaboration features. Now, I personally have not tested the collaboration features. From what I've seen online, it is a good option if you do have maybe a partner or somebody else in your household that you are splitting bills with. You're going to see all of their different accounts, so make sure, it's like you really trust them in terms of adding them as a collaborator, but that can be another good feature that maybe you find valuable. Again, if you are doing like a combined finances, or if you just want to see the overall household, maybe you don't have joint accounts, but you don't have to have joint accounts in order to use their collaboration feature. You can see people's, in their household sort of separately, which is a cool like shared view of things. Again, maybe if people have different accounts, but maybe you're married and you have it all together, or even if you're just a couple as well. You can also see all of your different investments. Now, personally, I don't really use the specific ticker symbol setup all that much in terms of the portfolio versus the S&P. That is something in terms of investment tracking that might be useful for you. You can also set up financial goals as well in terms of tracking progress towards a certain goal. Again, it's a little bit more of a basic feature. I do know that they are working on maybe making this even better in the future. And then you also have, again, the reporting and dashboard feature. Again, taking a look at your overall net worth over time, breaking it down by categories automatically, and linking all of your accounts realistically is one of the best features of Monarch. Just having that boom in that dashboard. It is a very solid app when it comes to, again, seeing your net worth over time, tracking things like that, as well as the individual nitty-gritty details of even where your money is going every month, how much you're actually saving, and where you're spending your money, again, because that is the crux of the budgeting side of things. But they do also have the net worth tracking side of things as well, because I figured I would include, really realistically budgeting apps and a lot of the fintech apps and tracking your accounts and portfolios. It kind of all just goes hand in hand with a lot of these different apps. Moving in at number 3, we have YNAB. Now, YNAB is more built just purely around budgeting specifically and going into all those different categories. Now, they do have a free trial, as well with Monarch as well in terms of the pricing, just to show you. They do have a free trial as well, so you can try them for 7 days. And then they have a yearly and monthly plan as well. You do save money on the yearly plan compared to the monthly plan in terms of the pricing there. So again, a little bit more expensive than Quicken in terms of, $2 or realistically $4 a month versus, $8 a month, but you do get a bit more customization in terms of what you would get within something like Monarch. So that is something worth considering there. Again, all this pricing is subject to change depending on when you're watching this video. Again, you don't get any ads, credit card offers, or hidden fees within something like Monarch. Same thing with YNAB as well. In terms of the pricing, again, they do have a free trial as well. Now, YNAB is specifically focused around budgeting. So, as you can see here, YNAB, very similar pricing to Monarch, basically essentially the same amount of pricing, exact same pricing structure. At least for right now. And then it says, oh no, they plan on doing a rate increase. So when you're watching this video, that rate increase may have already happened. It probably has already, but you do get a free trial period as well with YNAB. So that's just how it all breaks down in terms of pricing. I figured I would also include that in this video just to give you that context there, that they do have a free trial, but it is a paid tool. We'll be getting into the fully free tools a little later in this video. Just hold your horses, just wait. We'll be getting to the completely free tools as well, but I figured I would feature, in my opinion, a lot of the paid tools are just a little bit better for people to use and just have better features in general. But for YNAB, again, they are a completely focused budgeting app just purely based on budgeting out the different categories. They are also a zero-based budgeting, similar to what you can have done in Monarch in that one section if you are going to be doing budgeting that way. YNAB is a little bit more complicated to get started with. It's maybe not necessarily the most beginner-friendly. It does take a little bit of learning, but they do have very easy tutorials that you can get started with. In terms of YNAB and why a lot of people do like them is just because of how specific you can get with your money. You can link all your accounts. They've also been around the block for a long time as well. And you can also create up your savings goals, seeing where you're spending your money. And it forces you to be a little bit more active with managing and categorizing transactions. Realistically, it's almost as similar as someone doing accounting or bookkeeping for a small business. That's what I would compare YNAB to in terms of how detailed you can be in your overall financial planning and budgeting within YNAB. It really is similar to bookkeeping and accounting for small business in terms of managing your money. Again, you have different grocery categories, electric. You do also get the emojis within YNAB as well, which is cool. You can also set up custom categories too, and seeing like where your money is going, how much more you have like left to spend within the app as well. Personally, I did find it to be just a little bit more than what I prefer in terms of how complex the budgeting aspect is. for me personally, that's why I don't use them, but I do recommend them. And a lot of people do like, how specific you can get into the budgeting. You can also view all of your accounts there as well, such as like 401k accounts, IRA accounts, checking, savings. And you can link, obviously you can link your credit cards and things like that. However, the other downside to YNAB as well is because they are just purely focused on budgeting, they don't actually have the net worth tracking features. You can see your account values in there, like I showed you here. It's pretty small there. You can see your account values. Maybe you could see it better there. You could see if you have certain loans and tracking your 401k IRA, but it's not necessarily going to give you that condensed huge view like what you would get with different percentages of your net worth. And getting into those aspects, it really is more focused on budgeting. So if you really are just purely looking for just a budgeting app, you don't necessarily care about all those other features, such as tracking like all of your different assets and things like that and asset tracking, then maybe YNAB might be a better option for you if that's all you care about in terms of your overall, as they say, as wealth building tool. They are also ad free as well because, again, they are a paid tool. So you can come to expect that from the paid tools again. So that is one of the downsides of YNAB. But if you just want budgeting, then maybe it could be a good option for you. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we now have Empower Personal Dashboard. This actually used to be known as the Personal Capital Personal Dashboard before it became acquired by Empower. So again, this is fourth in the list here. Empower is really more focused around tracking the net worth versus the budgeting. They do have the budgeting features in here, but the main goal of the personal dashboard with Empower and really what Personal Capital was built around is just getting all of your finances and tracking all of your different accounts and then condensing it into an overall statement, seeing your cash flow month to month as well as your overall net worth. And they also do offer, deeper retirement planning tools. This is a free app, so they are completely free, which is nice as part of Empower. However, one thing that a lot of people do note is, if you do have a certain amount of assets, maybe over $100,000 in assets, then you may get a call or two. You don't have to accept that. That's them trying to, solicit for their financial professionals and other personal advisory services that they do offer. Again, this is sort of a way to get people in the door through this free dashboard that you can get signed up with. But again, you don't have to accept those. You can just, decline, peace out, see you later. You don't have to answer it. They may market to you a little bit. Again, that's part of just having a free tool for finances is you have to expect some level of marketing because how else are they paying for the tool, right? So that is just something to keep in mind. Again, you don't have to do it. They do have a lot of free financial tools that can be nice. Now, I have personally used them in the past. And, it is a pretty good option when it comes to, seeing your overall net worth over time and tracking the income and expenses that you have. You can also set up their retirement planner. So they do have a retirement planning tool as well as their, personal financial roadmap and whatnot in terms of seeing where your goals are, where your money is at. This can be just a good option as well in terms of as you can see here, you can do retirement planning forecasting. That's things that a lot of the other budgeting apps just don't have. They don't have more retirement planning things. And they don't have as much detail in terms of your investments and your overall portfolio view and maybe where you would be able to forecast things in the future at certain ages based on, maybe certain income you expect to have, maybe Social Security, things like that in retirement. So they are, again, more of a financial planning tool than just purely a budgeting tool. So they do have a budget planner in terms of, what they have to offer. You can set up and see where your spending is going. It's just nowhere near as customizable as the other apps that are out there. Again, you can see a detailed, thing like entertainment, food, but you're not going to get all the fancy emojis and all of the way that the other budgeting tools are set up and really just have a lot more flexibility with. Again, Empower is more just for tracking all your accounts, linking them, and then seeing your net worth. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Again, it is a free tool. So because it's free, had to include them in this list. Obviously, they are a good free option for tracking your money and where it is going. Moving on, next we have the Ramsey Solutions EveryDollar app. Now, the EveryDollar app is from Dave Ramsey, the Ramsey Solutions team, and they do offer a free version of the EveryDollar app. This is purely a budgeting app. They do also have a net worth tracker feature that is still sort of in beta, at least the last time that I tested it. It is not necessarily something that's fully functioning compared to something like Empower or even the tracking tools that Monarch has as well, in terms of those parts of it. But in terms of budgeting, the EveryDollar app does have the free version. Now, on the free version, you cannot link your accounts automatically. So that is something worth considering. In terms of automatic account linking, that does cost money to link your accounts automatically, to get everything automatically imported into your reporting dashboard, so to speak, to see where all your money is going. Again, you can track your transactions. So like, what does the free version do, right? So you can do things manually. You can add in your different account balances and where you're spending your money every month. And it is a pretty, easy to use app, in my opinion, in terms of the ease of use of EveryDollar. But you do have to do things manually, like as paychecks and adding in your income and then what you're spending on your food and groceries. Now, that is an option there if you do want the free version. That's what you have to do. You just have to do things manually. The paid version does allow you, to be able to add things in automatically. Again, it is a zero-based budgeting as well, so similar to YNAB in terms of that aspect there. In terms of how easy it is to use, if you're going to want to link your bank accounts, then you do have to go to the paid version of EveryDollar compared to the free version. Now, in my opinion, I personally didn't really like the free version all that much. I would rather just use a spreadsheet, in my opinion, or maybe another tool for the free version, just because everything is so manual and you don't have as much customization over the different aspects. You can add income and add different categories to see where things are at, but it is just a lot of manual work. And again, if you're going to be using an app, if you want to save money and just use the free version, cool. It's just that you won't be able to automatically link things as well. And again, their net worth tool is newer, so it's not necessarily as detailed and as in-depth as maybe some of the other options out there. Again, EveryDollar could still be a good option for you in terms of building out a free financial plan and budget, and seeing where your money is going every month. It is nice and easy in that aspect. If you're just getting started, I would definitely recommend giving them a shot or trying them out, maybe downloading them. They do have an easy to use mobile app as well. It just depends on where you want your categories and really what you're looking for. Like if you want things automated, then you got to go for the paid version compared to the free version of the app. And it just depends on really what you're looking for when it comes to budgeting as well as net worth tracking within the apps. Moving on, next in this list, we have a Google Sheet file, right? So Google Sheets is actually a pretty dynamic tool. This is completely free. As long as you have a Google account, you can find different budget templates. This is one I just found very quickly on Google by searching budget template for Google Sheets. And you can manually enter in your transactions each month. Now, in my opinion, if you're going to be doing that, you have full flexibility and customization in terms of where you want to see things, in terms of the actual amount, the difference. If you're going to be typing in things manually, maybe the free version of EveryDollar might just be better for you in that case. But if you're going to go for another tool that's just infinitely more customizable, there's tons of different budget templates out there on the internet. Maybe Google Sheets could be a good option for you, again, because you can customize it infinitely, find different types of tools. Maybe if you are familiar with Google Sheets and spreadsheets, you can even edit it and customize it your own way. But I did figure I would include them, Google Sheets in this list. Again, it's not really particularly an app, so to speak, but it is another tool that you might want to just use for you in, again, managing your finances. Last but not least, we actually do have Credit Karma and what Mint has been reimagined to now on Credit Karma. So Credit Karma when they first did the merge earlier this year, they did not have hardly any of the features, which led a lot of people to flee to all the other apps that I already mentioned in this list. At the end of the day, the thing is that Credit Karma is still a decent option when it comes to tracking your investments as well as your accounts, and they have also added the budgeting tools to the app. Now, one thing to bear in mind is way more stripped down, way more basic compared to the customization and detail that you can get into, especially with an app like the Quicken Simplifi, Monarch, or YNAB, in terms of the features, or even EveryDollar as well. And when it comes to specifically budgeting, those other 4 tools are way better when it comes to budgeting than the Credit Karma tool. They do also have a basic net worth tracker. Again, when you're looking at a net worth tracker, definitely would rather recommend, something like Monarch or even Empower for that. However, Credit Karma is free, so that is something worth considering. However, because again, it is free, you are going to be hit with a lot of ads for different financial products, whether you want to sign up for a credit card or you want to sign up for this or that. It does get quite egregious on the Credit Karma app, so that is something else worth considering. If you are okay with that on a free version, sure. The nice thing is that with Credit Karma, it does automatically link your accounts, so you can automatically link things in there, which is nice. But you do have the ads that really are, all over the place in terms of popping up on things as well. So that is something worth considering. You can see your transactions in here. Just in my opinion, in terms of the overall flexibility and customization, it still isn't necessarily the best option. But if you just want something free, or especially if you're looking for something to track your credit score too, Credit Karma is not the worst app out there. That's why I include them last in this list. It could still be a good option for managing your budget and finances. It's just not necessarily the best option when you have all these other tools that exist out there. But I figured I would include them because you can still do everything on there, and it is a free app as well that does automatically link your accounts, compared to whereas EveryDollar is a free app, but you have to do things manually. And Empower is really more just on the net worth side of things. It doesn't really necessarily have the budgeting type features on the free version, whereas Credit Karma has added some of those parts to the app now. It's still not, again, nowhere near as complex and as more customizable compared to the other few apps that I'm, mentioned at the top of the video, like the Quicken Simplifi. Again, those are paid tools. YNAB, Monarch, those are paid tools, but the detail is just a lot better. So again, guys, I hope you found this list and video helpful on seven of the best budgeting apps, personal finance trackers, net worth trackers. And again, free and paid options. So there's a lot of different options for lots of different types of people. I would highly recommend checking out all the different companies linked down below in the video description. Go ahead and check them out. Maybe sign up for free trials, try out a lot of these different apps. Let me know in the comment section which one you like the best. Again, for me, my money is going with Monarch, just in my opinion, for my needs, but I get that everybody is different. Maybe you'd prefer EveryDollar, Empower, Quicken Simplifi. Does just depend on your financial situation, how and what you find most valuable out of the different apps. So again, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, then be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and notification bell so you're notified whenever I upload a new video. Anyway, guys, that's all for today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.